So that's our 5 things that we think for homesteading to make it better. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hidden Oaks Homestead. It's Nicole and Chip. It's been 2.5 years since we got started, and we're loving it just like we did day one.
We did. We do.
We do.
We do. We still do.
We're having a blast doing it, and they say that the honeymoon for homesteading is about 2 years. Once you hit 2 years, that's where you find out if homesteading is for you, or if you're just getting burnt out and you're ready to move back to a subdivision and start shopping at your local grocery store again. So what we want to do today is give you 5 ways that you as a new homesteader can prevent homestead burnout. So the first thing that I would say is find animals, plants for the garden that you're passionate about. Find stuff that you're actually interested in, and in the garden, food that you actually want to eat.
Stuff that you actually want to eat. I think that's the biggest thing, because there's always these fruits and vegetables that just, they look great and they're Instagram ready, but you're not really going to eat them. They're easy to grow, but you're not really going to eat them. And one lesson that we learned on that is eggplants are beautiful. They're easy to grow. Not really for us to eat.
Yeah, and also make sure that it's something that grows well in your area, because nothing is going to frustrate you more in the garden than putting all this effort into a plant that just does not grow in your area.
Or not easily. That's something I talk about in my gardening videos all the time.
So make sure in the garden it's something that you and your family enjoy eating, and make sure it's something that is going to grow in the area that you're in. With animals, just make sure that you're growing the animals that you're passionate about. I love pigs.
Yeah.
We've had animals out here that we thought we were going to be in love with. Guineas, geese, ducks, peacocks,
yeah,
sheep. We've tried them all, and as we've said, you know what, those livestock don't really work for us, and we moved on from them. And now with the cattle that we have, the donkeys, the pigs, the chickens, the goats, we found the animals that we really enjoy working with. And it makes it feel like less of a chore when you love the animals that you're dealing with every day.
Yeah, so when it comes to the animals, either it's got to be something that you're going to process and eat, or if you make the decision to have them as a pet, that's fine too, but make sure you enjoy them for one or the other. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and a chore that doesn't need to be there.
And you're just going to get burnt out. Next, avoid taking on more than you can handle.
And that goes for the gardening, for the animals, for the lot size that you want, because a lot of us that go into this lifestyle have this dream, and we think we need this and that much land. We think we need this size of garden. We think we need all of these animals, and it is a chore. It's work, and it's a work of love. But if you're taking on too much, whether that is size-wise or quantity-wise, it will get to you really quick and burn you out and make it hard, make your life hard, and take away from the joy that you wanted to get out of this lifestyle in the first place.
Yeah, so with the garden, don't start with a 2-acre garden. Start small and build it gradually. Remember all the stuff that goes into gardening. It's not just planting seeds and harvesting. It's watering, it's weeding, it's it's
harvesting, it's preserving,
it's everything.
It's
preserving. I don't
right.
even
I
think-
mean that is part of
Yeah.
it, right?
What-
Because the last thing you want to do is when you're putting all this work in and the preparation in, getting seeds to sprout and then nursing them and planting them outside and making them grow and weeding them and maintaining them. When it's time to harvest, the last thing you want is either not have time to process them
Yeah.
or not knowing what to do with them. That is not a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
So make sure that whatever you plant is something you're going to eat, is something that you know what to do with when it's time to harvest, and it's not a huge chore. Summer and preserving time are very, very busy, and the last thing you want to do is overdo it because you don't have enough time to do anything with all that harvest that you put all the work into.
When setting up infrastructure, make sure you set it up in a way to where it streamlines the work that you're gonna have to do. Make sure that you can get your feed close to your animals, gardening tools close to the gardening. A big pro tip is to have more than one set of tools.
Yeah, we're still working on that.
Shovels, rakes, all that stuff. Have more than one set, because nothing is more frustrating and a bigger waste of time than being at the barn and looking for the shovel, but it's across the property back at the garden.
Or in the shed,
So
or
just
wherever.
you're gonna need multiples. And when you're setting up infrastructure, start temporary, see how it works before you put anything permanent down, because nothing's worse than putting down something permanent and then you look back in 2 years and be like, wow, this would be much better if we would have put this fencing over here instead of over here. So keep stuff like that in mind.
Yeah, it's important to be able to move things around when you first start out, because when you're moving out there, especially if it's something that where you haven't lived before, you really need to learn how your land works. Where does the water flow? Where's the wind coming in? Where does the sun rise and the sun set?
Yeah.
All of that is really important, and being able to work with that and having things that you can move around to begin with, and then can be made into a permanent structure if needed, or permanent water line like what we did with
Yeah.
the water lines. That makes our life so much
Yeah.
easier, having these systems in place that we didn't originally have.
Yeah. When we first got out here, we were hauling 55-gallon drums of water to different paddocks for different animals.
And that was step 2. First,
yeah.
it was 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, and so we've set up lines, water lines underground to go to different watering points. That was huge. Then we've put automatic waterers to fill water troughs, so we don't even have to worry about water anymore. When we first started, we had all of our feed kind of centrally located, and we would have to go to the feed point and run feed,
And distribute everywhere.
distribute it to different areas. And now we've made it to where we have feed in each paddock, so we just need to go to that area, go see the coonies, feed them, their water's fine, go feed the cows, go feed the chickens.
Go take care of
And
the
they got
goats.
everything right there, right there with them. So it cuts down, we save so much time running around when we can now just go to each animal and everything they need is right there waiting for them.
Yeah, I think we cut down our chore time probably 50%.
Oh, it's so much easier now, and it really helps you to still enjoy what you're doing
And have more time to
when
enjoy
it-
the animals.
when it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, 100%. As a next thing, staying within your means. Having a budget or developing one that will help you stay where you need to be, especially planning for gardening and livestock. When it comes to livestock, not only are you going to get it and buy it and purchase it, you also need to take care of it.
Yeah, you got to remember that. Say you have $500 to spend, and you find 2 goats that cost $250 a piece, you got the money for the 2 goats. But you still have to be able to feed these goats. You got to have a place to put them. You got to be able to take care of their vaccinations and all their medical needs and provide minerals for them. So you got to make sure that you got enough for all of that. It's not just the purchase of the animal, and a lot of people can forget about the long term, the long game, because these aren't something that you just get short term. And you're not renting these animals out, and nobody's going to cover these other expenses for you. So it's
the recurring expenses, and then you have the surprise expenses. Heaven forbid somebody gets sick, they need a vet visit, they need something like that you don't have necessarily in the budget.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to have to learn how to do things for yourself. That is a big one.
Yes.
There are a lot of skills that you are going to learn either by choice or by surprise.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that you are not necessarily going to think about, especially when acquiring livestock. So make sure you inform yourself, make sure you know what your budget is and what you can play with, what you're comfortable doing yourself, what you need to budget for in regards to additional costs that might be coming up. Those are all very important points to consider when you're getting into homesteading.
Yeah, and feed, people don't realize how expensive feed can get. There's a big difference between a feed bill for 3 goats and a feed bill for 15 goats. So make sure when you're collecting all these goats and all these chickens that you have the money each month to spend feeding these livestock.
Or offsetting the cost, or looking into getting animals that can feed themselves.
Last thing we want to talk about is having a mentor, having somebody that has the experience and the knowledge that maybe you don't have, or just somebody else that you can bounce ideas off of. We try to have somebody in each aspect of homesteading, whether it's building or gardening or coonies or goats. We have somebody that we know that has more information and more knowledge than we have, that we can reach out to if we run into a situation where we're stumped,
where we just don't know where to go or how to handle the situation. We have a lot of local friends that we've made over the years, but there's so many online communities out there as well that can help, whether that is for gardening and looking for local gardening groups, or the local universities who have extension offices and master gardeners. There are so many opportunities for you to go out and learn. You don't have to be a specialist and a subject matter expert for everything that you do. Definitely start doing it if that is something that you're looking into. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions.
And also surround yourself with other homesteaders. You don't have to be exclusively friends with homesteaders. Keep your old friends too. We're not saying get rid of your old existing friends, but network and get a group of homesteading friends to just help feed each other's energy and keep each other going. I think we have a lot of friends in this area that we've made since we've been doing this that we would have never crossed paths with otherwise.
Very true. It's about bouncing off ideas. It's also about helping each other. The community that we've built here locally, we've been able to learn new skills, and we've been able to teach new skills to others as well. Yeah. So that is all part of building that community of mentors that you should build around yourself. But then also, as you're learning and you're getting better, you can be a mentor to others.
It's true, you can.
Yeah, totally.
So that's our top 5 ways to avoid homestead burnout. If you guys are already in it and you're already homesteading, keep rocking. If you're new and you're thinking about getting into homesteading,
just do it.
Just get in there and get started. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the video, and
we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you guys next time. You ready? Thinking. So that's our 5 things that we think for homesteading to make it better.
Hang on, I got a tear.
Still crying?
Still. Gotcha.
Ready?
Ready. But usually like, yeah, so.
Okay. Now I can push this to zoom in on my chin.
On your beautiful face. Or my beautifuler face.
All right.
Okay. What are we talking about?
You ready?
Oh, livestock.
You ready?
Yeah. You see the gate? Come over here a little bit. Yeah. That's good.
I grabbed my work hat.
Oh well. I got my Smith hat.